Um, I'll be very specific here in terms of understanding the re-rating moment for Mahindra and Mahindra, and it was the SUV dominance. Dominance is the real word there. Market share gain, new launches. Now, when we spoke to you last, you were excited about the way the order booking was moving. But what markets would like to know is that have the semiconductor issues been sorted, and are you likely to really clear up a lot of backlog, which really could give a lot of delta to your business this year?
So Nikunj, on that, semiconductor issues have largely been sorted, but they're not completely gone. So we still see an impact of about 10 to 12% every month with regard to something not working well on semiconductors. Our capacity has gone up from roughly 24,000 to 39,000 now, and that will go up to 49,000 units a month. And that will help us start bringing down the wait times that we'd like to. We, however, continue to see very strong demands across all our brands, and that is again a very positive sign. But as that continues, we will continue to increase capacity.
To you last time, you were said, look, we are also rebooting our entire or our subsidiaries, and some of them have been rebooted. But there are two subsidiaries specifically where we still two businesses specifically where we see a lot of volatility: the IT business, which is Tech Mahindra, and the finance business, which is Mahindra and Mahindra Finance. Could this year be the repair year for both those businesses?
So on Mahindra Finance, Nikunj, we've started a turnaround, and I would say the business has done really well. If you look at our gross NPAs or stage three, it is down now to less than 6%. And this was as high as 16% at one point in time. But more importantly, there's a very strong focus on asset quality. And that focus will ensure that we don't go higher even in a further economic downturn. The net NPAs are 2.5%. So the asset quality is extremely strong. Disbursements were up 80% in the year. Assets under management were up 27%. So that business is on a very strong footing right now. I would still say it's halfway through its turnaround. There's more work to be done on that front, but it's on a very solid trajectory. Tech Mahindra has had some very strong positives in terms of large account wins and its customer centricity. There's a little more work, or in fact, a lot more work to be done on margins, because in margins we are lower than the industry, and we are targeting in the short to medium term a 300 basis point increase in margins, which will help get TechM back on a very strong footing.
So broadly speaking, the ROE strategy of 18% on an aggregate basis, do you think for FY24 that is going to be the focus mantra?
Nikunj, on that, we actually delivered 20% this year. So from an ROE standpoint, we are well ahead of what we had committed. In fact, we had committed to 18% in about 5-year time frame. We got there in 18 months, and we will stay firm with that. Where our businesses are working right now, we don't see any issues in maintaining greater than 18%. What we have told our analysts and investors is we are not going to increase ROE, but we're going to increase growth because we want to grow in a much bigger way. So on the ROE front, expect it to sort of vacillate between 17 and 20% over the next few years. And that will be a function of the investments we make and the time it takes to get the growth from our investments. But our focus right now is really growing all our businesses.
Take the clock back, Dr. Shah. We've seen a transformational growth in your auto business. We've seen an incremental growth in your tractor business. And we've seen a strong comeback, let's say, in Mahindra Finance and Mahindra Holidays. Which are the companies which for FY24 are at a transformational growth, and which are the companies which are at an incremental growth?
So I would look at auto continuing its transformational journey, especially as we look at international. On farm, there are a couple of areas for transformation. One is farm machinery, which is something we are targeting at 10x growth, as well as international. Mahindra Finance will continue transformation, TechM will as well. And beyond that, each of our growth gems, as I mentioned earlier, has a 5x plan. Sustain, a solar business, has already signed up for the 5x plan, and we have IFC as an investor who's underwritten that plan already. Our last mile mobility business got a valuation recently of $730 million from IFC, from IFC as they came in. Sorry, Sustain was Ontario teachers who had come in. IFC came into last mile mobility, and they've got a 5x plan that's laid out as well. And for each of our other businesses, we are there or almost there in terms of outlining that plan. And that's going to be a transformation across the businesses. So as I said, Mahindra is not just an auto business or a farm business. We also represent services across the breadth of all of the industries in India, and therefore are very well positioned with the India growth story.